All right, today we're going to go through and talk about all the accessories that we put on our 2020 Can-Am Maverick. This is the Turbo RR. This is the 195 horsepower unit. So we'll kind of start at the front. We're going to work our way around, and then also what we're going to do too is we're going to do the Fox tune on our shocks. And to skip all the boring stuff of disassembly, we're just going to cut after this right into the house, and we're going to go through how to actually adjust your shocks for a Fox tune. So one of the first things we did is we actually flipped the shocks. These reservoirs were down inside here. In order to do that, you do have to cut and modify your plastic so when the shocks come up it does not hit here. But we noticed that the reservoirs were getting very hot because your radiator blows hot air right in through on top of them, so that does keep them a lot cooler. It's one of the first things we did. The other thing we did is we did get aftermarket rims and tires. Where we are located here, you can ride on the road, and the stock tires just don't hold up very well. They're like erasers, they just peel right off. The next thing we did is we bought a windshield. We did get caught out in the rain a couple times, and then with the winds we noticed that a windshield was very ideal and handy. This is just a hand operated wiper. You can get two, one for each side, so we may get a second one, but we do apply Rain-X and it seems like the water just sheds right off. We also have a Tusk light bar. This thing is absolutely amazing. We do plan on running the river this year, so that will be awesome for just good lighting, make sure we don't hit anybody. We did go with the roof. This is very nice. Same thing with the whole rain concept. I mean, slowly this thing is evolving into a car. We do have the Can-Am side mirrors. These are very handy. I enjoy them. We may go with soft upper doors just for the winter riding, but you do have to eliminate your mirrors. I do see there's an aftermarket mirror that does attach down here on your door, lower door. We did do lower door insert panels. Same thing, we're trying to make it as comfortable as possible, keep a lot of wind out, mud, dirt, debris. We do have the, I think they call these like the tree kickers for the side. We do have extra support there, kind of protect the side of your car. And we went with the rubber mud flaps here, the rock knockers. And that prevents rocks from getting sprayed back and getting trapped inside of your rear wheel, and then the rocks will grind, and I've seen some people actually will puncture holes in their rims. Here's a better shot of the rims that we ended up going with. They're beadlock rim. The other thing we also did is we ordered some extended fender flares, and you can see them here, front and rear. Kind of a little bit of a side note, we did order them through Rocky Mountain ATV, and on the passenger side we were missing this piece, and it took us about 2 months through their program, through their service department, to actually get that piece. They did end up sending us a whole new kit, which was nice, but it took forever to get that fixed. So just a word of warning, if you're working with Rocky Mountain and you need something and it's messed up in the order, it's not going to be fast. All right, let's see, do we have anything else here in the rear? One thing you will notice when you do get aftermarket rims and tires, you get more offset in your rims if you order it that way. So the stock tire was tucked in here pretty well. You can see how much more room you have, so you do get a wider stance. So stock, these are 64 inches, and with this one currently we're at 71 inches, so it almost takes you to the RS. This is a DS model. I think that is about it. We did do floor mats. That adds about 10 horsepower. So we do have those in there. It's a nice little feature to have. If you want to take a peek inside the cockpit.
It does not add horsepower, does it?
It does, at least 10. Everyone knows that. So for our light bar, we just added a little tiny rocker switch right down there on the dash, which you can, or on the center console, so that'll turn your light bar on. Pretty simple install. So far we're really happy. It's been a really great unit. All right, we'll cut to actually us just go ahead and pulling some shocks off. Our stock ride height right now, we're at about 12 inches, and we're supposed to go up to like 14.5 with this Fox tune. I'm not crazy about getting too much higher, because I'm trying to keep it low for rollover issues, for sliding and cornering, but we'll go ahead and run with it. We'll see how we like it. See you in a little bit. All right, what we're gonna do now is, this is a front shock. I'm gonna go through the Fox tune with you. The numbers change a little bit between the front and rear shocks, but not a lot. So to go through with you, this here is your low speed screw up top. If you wanna come down here and take a look from the end, sweetie. This is your low speed screw. So what they want you to do is turn this all the way in, and then back it out 2 turns. So I'm going to go all the way in with it. So half, 1, half, 2. So that's 2 turns there. That's your low speed. And then your high speed is this large nut here. So they want that out 3 turns. So initially I'm going to turn that all the way in. Half, 1, half, 2, 2 1/4. So it was 2 1/4 from the factory. So I'm going to come out 3 turns. Half, 1, half, 2, half, 3. So we're 3 turns out there. So on the rebound, which is down here in the bottom of the shock, they want this out 12 clicks. So here's your rebound. So I'm going to screw this all the way in. You can tell there's a detent in there. Every little bit it will click. We're going to thread this all the way in, then we're going to go out 12 clicks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So your low speed screw is 2 turns out, your high speed screw is 3 turns out, your rebound is 12 clicks. That is the same for the front and rear shocks. So the next thing they want us to do is look at our installed spring length. So you're going to measure your spring, your overall spring. So our spring is at 23 5/8. They want 23 1/4. So what we have to do is tighten these 2 jam nuts up here down and compress that spring to 23 1/4. And then they have what they call your crossover height. And your crossover height, you're going to measure from here to the top of your spring to the bottom of this. So that's where they change front and rear. Your crossover height on your front is 4.5 inches for that distance. Your rear is 6. So 4.5 on your front from here to here. On the front, the rear is from here to here, but it's 6 inches. It's going to be quite a bit lower on the rear. And that's pretty much essentially it. So we're going to go ahead and adjust those, and then I'll show you the measurements once it is adjusted. I go down 1 inch. Well, who would have thought? Professionals actually know more than I do. So we did do the Fox tune. We just cruised out here to the river. I'm going to do some rough measurements. We're not on the most level ground. We thought we'd get you a little bit better backdrop to kind of see what our ride height is. It was 12 inches when we started. We're supposed to be around 14.5, but it actually rode really smooth. So between adjusting all your high speed and low speed screws and your rebound, seems really nice. And then also we're riding on the softer spring longer. I think what was happening before is we had less clearance to where those dead stops were, to where the large spring engages, and I think that's why we had a rougher ride before. So in the front, let's see what we have. Like I said, this isn't the most level ground, not the most accurate. We're at 14 inches in the front, so we went up 2 inches in the front. Let's see where we are in the rear. And in the rear, we're at about 13 3/4. So I think they said we're supposed to be like 14 1/4 inch ride height. We're pretty much right in that ballpark. And then if you look down here, well, actually, we are almost right up against these stops here for the large spring. But that's where they said to put it. That's where it's at in the back. Let's see where we are in the front. Okay, yeah, we have a couple inches up in the front before we hit those stops, but in the back, we're right up against them. But We did what the book said. We'll run around some rough trails and see where we end up. Thanks for watching, guys.